All right, so here we go. There's an Awakening and Blessing. So now she is buffed that if she gets hit, she will heal. But she only started with 30 troops. All right, so the monster gets a guaranteed hit, knocks her to 5, boom, instantly has 15 back. So I was saying that earlier, but it wasn't a very good explanation. So she had 30, she had Blessing on, she gets hit, drops to 5, right? Difference between 30 and 5 is 25, and then she triggers the Blessing, which gives her 60% of the troops back, which is exactly 15, and boom, she goes from 5 back to 20. Very useful, but if she would have got down to 0, the slot would have disappeared, and that Blessing would have been useless. So that's a good example of Blessing in disguise, or Blessing in action. Greetings, Commanders! Welcome to the Elf video. Everyone got a mail this, or everyone in the top 80 of the Season 4 playoffs got a mail this morning from the server saying that their prizes have been handed out. That's 80 guilds, 74 members. That's a lot of new S-Commanders that just got leaked out onto the world. Here was the mail. I saved it for this video. Check that out. We got 7th place, so we got Elf, we got Magazines, we got Pure Crystal, so that's one Titan craft there. One bad Titan. So we'll go ahead and take that in now and find our inventory here. For those of you wondering how it looks, you just go there, get your commander, and you could save this for the mobilization weekend, but I'll just use it now. Many people only know Elf as this generation's most talented Oracle. In fact, she's also a famous gambler. So you wonder where the Oracles came from? Yeah, it could have been Elf. Who knows? All right, so there's Elf. Booyah, what a babe. All right, no custom skins yet. That's what she looks like. Pretty good looking skin. I mean, it moves, got a lot of animation there, a lot of quality there. Very high definition, very nice. All right, let's talk about Elf skills. So she's a Walker Commander, and the question is should you main her? What kind of uses do we have for Elf? Well, here's what we know. I've got a bunch of replays I'm going to use as proof at the end of this video for the claims I'm about to make right now. We've never had a commander like Elf. Not exactly like Elf. We've had commanders similar. So she plays as a defensive commander a little bit like Rogers in the fact that you need to survive a few rounds to trigger your curse a couple times so that it debuffs all the enemies. And she heals herself with Blessing so she can survive a little better. But she lacks a direct damage nuke like Crush or Rampage, or anything that just directly uses her troops to damage the enemy. Instead, she has this curse ability, which is 40%, so it's a 40-60 commander, where she will debuff all 6 of the enemy troops, and whenever they attack. So it's her turn, she triggers the skill, one slot of her troops hits all the other slots, and now they're debuffed. When it's their turn to attack, they die equal to the amount of units that was using the skill to debuff them. So in other words, if you have 100,000 leadership, your curse will hit harder than if you only had 10,000 leadership worth of troops. It's based on the troop slots. It says damage this way cannot exceed 200% of normal damage. Text like that is not something we get too excited about on this channel because we've proven that you just can't trust it. Bottom line is this thing works like Ghost Cannon. It hits really hard and it's based off your leadership, and it does not get affected by strengthened weakened effect, which is very cool. It cannot miss because it is a debuff, but it is susceptible to tier suppression. So you need to have a bunch of high tier in order to trigger it, and you need to have a lot of units per slot that triggers it to really have a large effect. So in order to use this commander and to get the skills out of the way she wants to be played is you want to have high leadership and stack your slots full of high tier troops. So very risky commander playstyle on your server, but not necessarily in galactic battle, which is fine. And even on server battles, people really aren't fighting with full marches anymore. It's so risky now with plasmas and black holes and ignore tier suppression commanders and strength and weaken. So server battles have gotten really weak. The servers in Season 4 has brought in a realization that after 2 years of this game, fighting with troops is not lucrative. They're way too expensive to buy and to heal. So people haven't been fighting with them. So this commander does require you to use expensive troops. So she'll be useful for galactic battle, not necessarily regular playing. And of course she has an awakening. Now I want to revisit this real quick. The way you play this commander is you try to debuff your enemy. You survive enough rounds, and every time you get hit, she has the Vega heal instead of a 40% or instead of a 20% heal. It's 60% chance to heal, and whenever she takes damage, she recovers. And it's a very strong heal. It's not like Galileo or Grievous that get hit, and then depending on how hard they hit, they heal for that much. No, if she started with 30 troops and she gets hit and she's down to 5 troops, then if she's at level 60, she gets back 60% of the troops in that difference. So 30 troops, she has 5 left, so she's missing 25. So 25, 60% of 25, so she would get 18 back. And now instead of having 5 troops in the slot, she's up to 23 or something like that. And that keeps going throughout the round. So even if she gets down to 1 troop, if she ever gets hit and survives, she can heal that up all the way, 60% each time. And as your opponent gets weaker and weaker and weaker, and as you soften them up with curses and awakenings, if she continues to get hit, she will continue to heal. So you don't really build her with dodge. You build her with very high defense, very high HP. And Libra is a guaranteed gem set on her you'll like, because 1, it's a guaranteed hit skill. 2, you need tear suppression, because you're going to be running Armor of the Tyrant and a Helm of the Valkyrie on this commander. Absolutely. So as far as weapons are concerned, I would still use the basic accuracy damage weapons. I don't recommend crit damage. You aren't going to benefit from crit damage on Curse, which is going to be your primary source of damage. So Devastation Helmet for raw attack, or Valkyrie Helmet for defense. I'd probably go with the Valkyrie Helmet. Pants, you're probably going to want to go with Fabrication. Very rare commander for Fabrication use. She will want Fabrication. Pretty sure about that. And then weapons, probably Titans. Yeah, I don't recommend Eternal Barriers. Maybe 1 and 1, but that's a preference thing. I think what it comes down to is once you realize how this commander plays in an actual huge fight, you could see where she just needs to survive a few rounds, kind of like Rogers, and then she just keeps cursing. This curse hits so hard. I don't have a replay showing how hard the potential is or how high the potential is for that skill, but it is insane. The problem is it comes back to troops are expensive, and you got to put a lot of troops out there. It's not a skill that will put a dent in an opponent who's 10 times your size, and it doesn't have any use in the 1-slot bus formation, because even if you do trigger curse on your opponent, the next round when they attack, you might curse and kill that 1 slot, but when their next slot goes, they're probably going to one-shot you. So even though you have 5 other troops cursed, it doesn't matter, because they don't trigger that curse to damage them, to punish them more than your loss. But if that doesn't make sense, just you have to kind of do a little math or put it together in your head. And anyway, let's get into these replays so you know what I'm talking about. Some members of the community this morning just started dumping videos on us. Someone from a Chinese guild has level 60 skills. I don't know if this was someone just gold rushing it, or if they just, are devs or something. But so this commander, what he's done here is he's taken a bunch of tier 5. That's what's weird about it, right? Who gold rushes all their skills to 60 but only has tier 5? That's got to be a dev or something, but I don't know. All right, so he's got tier 5. He's going against a high-level monster. I want to say like a 16 monster. I don't even know. All right, so what we're going to see is that everything's in Chinese, but the yellow skill there with the yellow bar, that is her curse skill. And her blue one is awakening, and I think purple is the blessing. But we'll start it over from the beginning so we can get a fair shake on it. It's level 17 monster, excuse me. Okay, members of NK7. All right, so here we go. There's an awakening and blessing. So now she is buffed that if she gets hit, she will heal. But she only started with 30 troops. All right, so the monster gets a guaranteed hit, knocks her to 5, boom, instantly has 15 back. So I was saying that earlier, but it wasn't a very good explanation. So she had 30, she had blessing on, she gets hit, drops to 5, right? Difference between 30 and 5 is 25, and then she triggers the blessing, which gives her 60% of the troops back, which is exactly 15, and boom, she goes from 5 back to 20. Very useful, but if she would have got down to 0, the slot would have disappeared and that blessing would have been useless. So that's a good example of blessing in action. Next, I want to show you what happens when she gets hit again, when she goes from 20 to something else. it still treats it as if her original stack was 30. So that's really good. Even though it's only a 60% heal, you can never get back to where you started. You can, as the fight goes on and you have low damage, you may not kill that slot every time. So they might have 10% of the troops they started with. They hit you and you end up healing for 3 times as much damage as they did. So it's a turtle-ish fight, and over time she gets stronger if she stays alive. But Rogers is so much better at it than her. But she does this curse damage that hits way harder all around that Rogers doesn't do. So, it's a weird commander. We've never seen a playstyle like this. And she does have a place. It's just you got to really risk a lot of troops and use a playstyle that no one really uses right now. But I've been saying it for a long time. The devs have been pushing towards a defensive playstyle, and this is another commander that's really going to go for that and show us what that can do. So there we go. Right there. We'll go back one sec. Oh, too far. Right there. Okay. So right there, he's at 20, gets hit to 17, instantly heals for 8. So what happened was when he dropped to 17, he had started with 30 troops. 17 minus 30 is 13, and he gets back 60% of that, which turns out to be like 7 or 8 troops. And then they instantly heal. So even though he only got hit for 3 troops worth of damage, he healed 8 troops worth. And you can see how useful that is as time goes on. Now, this particular fight, the guy on the left is using strength and weakened gear, which is why the infantry is not hurting him. So be mindful of that if you're curious as to what's going on there. He has over 400%, so the monster's not hurting him. But as far as gems are concerned, I said, Libra is great for that tier suppression so you don't get destroyed if you're running her. But you really got a lot of other options. If you're only a walker commander, you don't have any tier 9 or higher, then you're stuck using Leo and whatever the crit gem is, and not great. But if you have tier 9 or higher with walkers, you really do get some more choices. And I think this commander is going to go well with Pisces if you have tier 11 infantry. Ares would be really cool on her. Really weaken your opponent, and by the time the fight's over, you'll be fully healed. I like Ares, tier 11, Ares Libra on Elf. That's my combo. That would be insane. Defense build, no dodge. That would be cool. All right, what else did I miss there? Oh, the curse. I want to talk about that curse. So, the very first curse. Let's go back. So, curse is it affects everyone, and it does damage based on the amount of troops that trigger it. Now, remember, there's only 30 troops per slot here, so her curse is not a very big curse, which is why it doesn't hit very hard. But you can imagine if you scale that up 100 times. So, there's the curse. It lands on everyone. All 6 of them have down arrows now. And here's the first attack on the top slot on number 1 up there. 7320. It hit for 7320. And then the curse falls off. But the curse can continue to stack. Here comes the front row on the top right up here. On the top right, on the enemy slot 1, instead of getting hit for 7320, and it doesn't matter that he's walker or infantry, just boom, he gets hit for a raw damage. Oh, he does get hit for 7320. Okay. So now this next troop should yeah, there we go. There's another curse. So there's two stacks on slot number 2. Boom, it triggers 14640. See how fast that happened? I'll do that one more time for you. As soon as the enemy starts to attack, it triggers the curse. Boom, there it is. And it can't crit because it's a skill. So like I was saying, crit damage doesn't work too well on her. And so it stacks, but as soon as it goes off, it falls off. And I don't know how many times it stacks, probably 5 times. It doesn't seem to matter. It hits hard. It hits really hard, but like I said, it does not negate tier suppression. So you have to put a lot of troops out there, high leadership, to trigger a really high curse and risk a lot of troops in the process. And she does have that heal at 60% trigger rate, which is nice. But the current meta still favors golems. And Stellas aren't going to go full march into you. So she makes a really good argument as a, stronghold commander. Just stick her in the stronghold and say, come get me. And she'll be really hard to take down. But she's more useful than Rogers in that regard. But I'm not thrilled. I love the fact that she can curse down an army and just whittle them down while she heals herself. And they gave us really high percentages on her skills, not 30-60 like Full Metal. They gave us 40-60, and she got some sick skills. So I kind of mentioned it earlier. Her curse is much like Darurai and Maruko. Yeah, Darurai and Maruko's Napalm Bomb. No, is that right? Darurai Soulburn for sure. I have a video on Darurai if you want to watch that. But then her heal is like Vegas heal. And then the typical Walker Awakening. So she's a cool commander, man. I really like what she brings to the table there. I'd love to see someone really go hard with her, but I still don't think it's going to have a great solution to what the current meta is. Not yet, but we're getting close, guys. We're getting close. Now look at this. Now this, you have an 80,000 tier 2 with a huge curse on everything. Now this is a really, really weak monster. Look at 55 tier 2 troops on the enemy side. So they're all cursed. Now watch when this curse goes off. Boom! 200,000, 200,000, 206,000. See that real quick? So as the troops go to attack, it triggers the bomb on them, and then they blow themselves up before they ever even get to hit. So by attacking, the curse hits them first. It's a neat skill. It's cool, and it'll definitely work really well if you have Aries and, you know, Libra if you need the tier suppression, or Pisces. But you know, interesting. Here's proof that this curse doesn't ignore tier suppression. And there it is. There's no, yeah, you can see the tier suppression there. Curse is about to go off. Another curse and blessing. Oh, nice triggers. There comes the attack and 0 damage. You didn't see it there, but it's 0. You see it. It's just fast. All right. And thanks to all the community members who helped out with this. Yeoman got me these last ones that I needed, and appreciate that, man. It really helps you guys. I don't have all the time in the day, all the time to get all these replays by myself, so it really helps. And the community jumps in and throws me the replays I need. So here's a replay against Rogers. This is to prove that her curse skill does not beat defensive stance on Rogers. So far, the only thing we know that beats Rogers' defensive stance is Rita and Plasma's dodge skill. But the debuff curse is basically it hits all 6, unlike Darurai's Soul Bomb burn, but it's basically the same skill. So, yep, that's that fight. Let's get through that. That's a longer one. All right, so this one is to prove that Plasma's... So what's great about Blessing is if Blessing triggers... if you get hit by a normal attack, it triggers your Blessing and it heals your troops, like I've been showing you. But you think to yourself, wait a minute, what if Airship Awakening softly hits everything in a fair fight? Does all your troops with Blessing get healed? And the answer is no. You only heal on basic attacks, because otherwise Awakenings would kind of be not that useful against her, and also she would be an incredible counter to Plasma. But unfortunately, Plasma is going to be blowing up here soon, and you'll see that his Quantum Blasts do not trigger the blessings that are on the ally side. If you see the green up arrows, that means they have the effect of blessing on them. It varies from commander to commander, but they use that simple green up arrow to tell us there's a positive buff on our troop. So here we go. Come on, come on, come on. Get an explosion. Get an explosion. Come on. All right. Any second now. This will be the one. So 2 slots should blow up here, and we'll see 0. Oh, no. Damage hits, but no heal. See, no heals? Damage, no heal. Damage, no heal. And, yeah. So that's that, guys. You can see more curse damage there if you want to slow the video down and watch it. But that is the new Commander Elf. Where does she fit in? Should you keep her? Well, she's an awesome novelty commander. She's super fun to play. But if you are behind, if you are not number 1 on your server, or if you're really close to somebody and you don't want to risk high troops, she's not the commander for you. She's definitely a boss commander. She's super fun if you just like meeting up with people on the weekends and battling it out with equal troops, but doesn't have ignore tier suppression, doesn't have 1-slot bust potential. She just is really scary to go against. She's just not fun to go against. People aren't going to want to attack into her, that's for sure, unless they're 1-slot busting, which they'll probably lose the fight. They may do more damage to lose the fight, but anyway, I think it's a cool commander, right? 40-60 skills. Walker, there's now more Walker options than ever. But if I was a Walker main, I would still stick to Rock, Hoodoo, Pictor, Moonshadow, or Chief. Even Galileo. But Elf's in the picture, man. She is cool. And in the Galactic Battle Season 4 playoffs, we're going to start seeing some new strategies roll out. We might find a use for more permanent, long-term standing commanders to hold strongholds longer than Golem. Glass cannon builds are a thing of the past. Balance builds are on the way in, and Golem doesn't have an answer to being a good defensive commander. He's just offense. So we'll see a good opportunity for Elf to show herself. But I wouldn't throw it all away yet and go for it, kind of like people did with Rogers. So yeah, let's see if we can jump back into the game, or if the servers are down, and we'll get one more look at her, show the skills for anyone that didn't get a good chance early on, and then we'll close this video out saying thanks for watching. And did I miss anything? Did I miss anything? I mean, as far as gears goes, I mean, I already kind of covered that. Yeah, Yeah, I think we got it, guys. I think we got it. So, yeah. All right, let's end it. Thanks, guys. We'll see you on the next one. Join the line chat. Check the description below. Check the comments below in case I missed anything. People like to help out and put stuff in there, and then I upvote them or guild them so that they stay there, so relevant and pertinent information I missed gets put to the top. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.